Hiya. First, I must apologize because there's going to be a lot of background noise today. Right now I'm blasting the music to get me in the mood, but there's some jackass downstairs who's just using one of those band saws or tile saws or whatever, and it's like, it's been driving me nuts all morning. And then I got the stove that when I turn that on, that makes noise. So anyway, it's going to be sensory overload kind of day. Today, I'm going to make a curry of sorts. Thai, kind of Thai-ish. Well, it's actually mainly Thai-ish-ish. Keyword-ish, because that's a word. And by I mean ish is that I'm kind of like, I've had a few different curries from Thailand, and I was like, kind of like, yeah, I like this, but I want to add this bit. And I know that's not from the same area in Thailand, but we're going to go with that anyway. So this is a variation on what they call jungle curry. I believe, I'm probably way wrong, but I'm the first to admit when I'm wrong, and I will always say, yep, you know what, I'm wrong. Anyway, jungle curry, I believe, is from the north part of Thailand, and why they call it jungle curry, I really don't know. All I know is that jungle curry doesn't have coconut milk in it, like they do in southern Thai curries, because coconut milk tends to kind of soften everything and bring a sweetness to it. So there's a curry paste, obviously, and I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar and a little bit of funkiness with some fish sauce, and I'm also gonna use a little chicken stock. The point of a jungle curry is that it's a thin broth. However, because I heard that bandsaw again. However, because I like to change things up, I like a little texture in my broth sometimes. So I'm adding some mashed prawns in it, and that's more of a southern Thai thing, just because I like to live a little. I'm also going to finish it up with some whole prawns, shell and all, because that's how I roll. And here we go. So anyway, first up, curry paste. You need a bunch of these little tiny green chilies. These little things will kill you. They kill you dead. Ooh, look how tiny it is. Tiny and deadly. I don't know, 6 or 7 or so. Seed, stem, put in the mortar and pestle. If you have a mortar and pestle, this is a fantastic way to get used to it. It's got some aggression. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, use a food processor, obviously. For curries, I prefer not to. I just feel like you just get more in tune with the recipe. You feel more at ease, you know, with mortar and pestle. Now, also the key to curry pastes, at least, is each time you add something, you mash it in one at a time. One item at a time. For some reason that seems to work best than just popping it all in and mashing it all up together. So, a couple of these scuds, put in, pop them in the mortar and pestle with a pinch of salt. Next up, galangal. See, it looks like ginger, but it isn't. Now, it's the same family as ginger, just has a more kind of a more floral taste to it. Now, probably about a tablespoon or so. Probably about a tablespoon or so chopped up. Because galangal tends to be a little harder than ginger, what I like to do is use a microplane grater and grate that in. And then mash it. Lemongrass, 2 stalks worth. Do about the same, because lemongrass also tends to be super hard to chop up. Go ahead and use your microplane grater again and grate that in. Now whatever you do, don't throw away you only want the white part for the lemongrass. Whatever you don't throw away the green stem, because if you pop that in water, you have a delicious, aromatic, light, refreshing tea, and your house smells wonderful. That's really great when you've been cooking fish. Trust me. Lemon leaves. Actually, that's what they're called here, but they're really lime leaves, technically. So aromatic. A couple of these, chopped up, and then mash them up in the mortar pestle again. Coriander root. See, in the US, when you buy fresh cilantro, coriander, they usually think they're being very thoughtful and cut the root end off, which is really a shame because there's a lot of flavor in this root end. So you want some coriander root. I tend to use the stems as well, save the leaves for another, thing like guacamole or something. But use, a nice little tiny bunch here. Just chop that up before putting in your mortar and pestle and bash that up. There's a lot, and before you do that though, this gets really sandy. You need to wash the hell out of it, including the wood end, because it is a lot of dirt and sand and stuff. Very flavorful though. Chop that up, mash it in. Also, shallot, one big fat one, or two. Actually do two. Chop that up. Mash it in. Garlic as well. Garlic, I go ahead and use the microplane again. One big fat clove or two. I'm using one of the better ones that I have. I have a variety here of fish sauces. I'm going to use some of this. About a teaspoon or so. Now it's going to get a little loud. What you need to do, what a lot of people tend to forget to do, is that this is very raw. It needs to be cooked and it releases all these delicious oils. And that is the best part about curries. And a lot of people don't do that, and they should. So this is going to get loud again. So I'm going to start this little doohickey here. In my wok, I'm also gonna add a little, I'm using coconut oil for this just because it's what I have handy. Alright, hot enough. Now fry this. See the scuds I put in, the little peppers, releasing their oils into the atmosphere and going straight up my nose. That's actually a good sign. This is what you want to smell. A little bit of sugar. A little bit of fish sauce, I think. It needs a little more. I don't know why. I'm just feeling it. Now, fish sauce, hot pan is going to make the whole building aromatic. I'm going out after this. I don't want to smell like fish sauce. At this point, I'm adding in some chicken stock. This is stuff I made previously, kept in the freezer. Found it yesterday. I was like, hey, we should make curry. So here we are, making curry. Bring that to a simmer. Now for the next thing we're going to add are the prawns. So I've had 2 prawns, mashed them up with, a mortar and pestle a little bit so that they're kind of have some texture, a little flat on some ends. The other ones I'm keeping whole. I just ran a pair of sharp scissors down the spine so it'll be easier to eat later. I'm keeping them head shell and all because that is very flavorful. If you are squeamish about food staring at you, like one of my customers told me once in the US years ago, I don't like my food to look back at me when I'm eating it. Sorry. Divert your eyes. And you go. Oh, these were alive and kicking when I bought them at the market yesterday because that's how you buy seafood here in Asia. Especially prawns and the mantis prawns and all that. The best way to deal with them is put them in the freezer as soon as you get home. And they fall into a nice happy sleep and then you don't feel so guilty. Well, Alright, this looks about almost done. So I'm going to go ahead and taste for seasoning. Maybe a little salt, maybe more fish sauce, maybe a little more sugar because this is going to be actually quite spicy because of the little green peppers we used at the beginning. Needs more salt. Now you can add a vegetable if you want. I sauteed these long green beans earlier. I'm going to add those in now just to keep with that color, that green color. Woo, it's hot. To finish up, add a little bit of fried shallots in the top. The other thing that you want to do, maybe if you don't have to, you can either add some of that coriander leaf that you didn't use earlier. This is called, in the US we call it culantro. I don't know what it's called here, sawtooth coriander or whatever. It's used a lot in Mexican food. It has a really nice freshness to it. It's like brighter than regular coriander. These are long leaves of it. I'm going to just ahead and have a taste. Yum. The prawns really make that broth more flavorful. The best part, I totally burned myself. I know. Look away if you're squeamish. Mmm. Yum. Ha! I love this stuff. Mmm. Anyway, this is my version of a hybridy curry, Thai-ish. You enjoyed it as much as I like making it. I'm making a huge mess here, but I really want this delicious prawn in my belly. Mmm. Now I'm wearing it. Ha! Y'all have a great week. Alright. Have a great week. See you next time. Mwah! Mm.